Happy December, everyone. It's time for another weekly edition of the Hawkeye Sports Report. This week, we sit down with wrestling head coach Tom Brands as he gives us his analysis on his team's dominating performance over rival Iowa State. We also will hear from women's basketball head coach Lisa Bluter as her team is in the process of working towards a state title. And the men's basketball team continues to protect their home court in dominating style. We'll look back on their win over South Dakota and get their thoughts on what might be their toughest test to date come Friday when they entertain Iowa State right here in Iowa City. Hawkeye Sports Report is next. Welcome into Hawkeye Sports Report. Let's kick things off this week with some men's hoops action. Fran McCaffrey's squad entered the week with a 6-2 record, which includes a 5-0 record in Carver Hawkeye Arena. After Tuesday's contest with South Dakota, that record at home is now at 6-0. Matt Nelson has Tuesday night's recap against the Coyotes.
Eric May bobblehead night for the first 1,500 fans in attendance at Carver. Early on, and Mike Gazelle with the layup. Then it's Devin Marvel with the drive and the dish to Aaron White, who throws it down. Another nice dish as Anthony Clemens finds Adam Woodbury for 2 more. Then more Gazelle as he finds fellow freshman Woodbury for the dunk. Woodbury with 10 points on 5 of 6 shooting from the field. The big guy can pass the ball as well. Here an assist on the White dunk. White with a game-high 21 points Tuesday night. South Dakota hanging around in this one for a while thanks to 6 first-half three-pointers, but Iowa built a 13-point lead at the half. How about guard Anthony Clemens scoring inside? That was the theme of the night. Iowa outscored South Dakota 54-14 in the paint. They did hit some outside shots, as evidenced by this Marble jumper. Marble with 14 points and 8 rebounds. And the Hawks were busy on the boards, out-rebounding the Coyotes 50-31. Iowa had 20 offensive rebounds. Here are 2 of them, the White dunk and the Eric May putback. After all, it was Eric May bobblehead night as Iowa knocks off South Dakota 87-63. At Carver, Matt Nelson, Hawkeye Sports Report.
The Iowa men's basketball team returns 8 lettermen, including 3 starters, from a team that made its first postseason appearance in 6 years last season. The Hawkeyes now welcome in a nationally ranked recruiting class of 5 talented freshmen. The Hawks are on the rise. Order your season tickets today. Call 1-800-IA-HAWKS or visit HawkeyeSports.com.
Friday night's game will tip off at 7:06 p.m. If you're able to still find tickets, be sure to come check that one out and what's sure to be a good matchup for 2 up and coming programs. And after a tough road swing in Florida, the women's basketball team returned home this past Saturday as part of the Hawkeye Athletics trifecta in Carver Hawkeye Arena. They had no problem with the UNI Panthers as they won 68-46. Senior Morgan Johnson continued her dominance in the post as she went for 19 points, 12 rebounds. She also dished out 5 assists. And sophomore Sam Logic also provided a spark on the day, knocking down 7 of 9 shots from the field and route to 15 points against the Panthers. That was just part 1 of earning the state title and what head coach Lisa Bluter says it is an important goal for her team.
We know it's going to be an intense, emotional game. We're glad that we've had some time to prepare for this game. And we've had a couple of days of practice, and I know Iowa State's had a long time to prepare for this game with us. So we expect to have a great crowd, blackout, going to be fun, should be a great environment.
I think there's a little more added pride. Iowa State's always, a big-time rivalry and, always looking forward to it at the beginning. So, it's always circled on your calendar. We're looking forward to it.
It's huge. I think especially being from the state of Iowa, kind of choosing Iowa over Iowa State, it's just great to try to represent your state, and it's a good matchup, and we have a lot of fun with it.
It's really exciting. We actually get the opportunity to wear our black uniforms at home. Our fans have never got to see our black uniforms before, so putting those on in front of our fans, it's just going to be a really special event.
It's blackout. It's I hope our fans have the word out that to wear black, otherwise they're going to come in here wondering what's going on. But so we're trying to get involved in that. We're trying to be a part of the blackout with the black uniforms.
Hilton's a really hard place to play at. It always has been, and I think hopefully they feel the same way about coming into Carver, that we're going to have, the blackout. Hopefully a lot of people show up and they're really loud, and will help us get this win because it'll be a huge win.
This rivalry is great. I mean, it's one of the most respected rivalries in the nation. I mean, we go back and forth, especially women's basketball, every single year. And, you know, losing to them twice is bitter. Remember winning my sophomore year is very sweet. So, you know, looking to wrap that series up with a win this tomorrow.
Well, it's been a strong rivalry among everybody in this state. Every one of us in this state, all 4 schools, want to have that mythical state championship. We'd be lying if we said we didn't. All of us want it. So it's important just for pride. You know, again, is it important for recruiting? I'm not sure, but it's important because you really want to represent the state and you want to be the school that's superior in the state.
Wednesday night, sophomore forward Aaron White led the Hawkeyes in a defeat of the South Dakota Coyotes. White was 1 of 1 from the three-point land, 6 of 6 from the charity stripe, and had a number of jams. All of that added up to 21 points in Iowa's 87-63 win. Aaron White, the Hawkeye Sports Report Player of the Week.
We fight, fight, fight every day in the gym. We're going to fight, fight, fight every game on the court. Will you fight, fight, fight with us in Carver this season? This is Hawkeye Women's Basketball. Get your season tickets now. Call 1-800-IA-HAWKS or visit HawkeyeSports.com.
Welcome back to Hawkeye Sports Report. We're now joined by wrestling head coach Tom Brands. The wrestling team's coming off a 32-3 victory over Iowa State this last Saturday. Coach, we're going to look at some highlights here. We're going to start out with Matt McDonough and Tony Ramos, and those are 2 guys that you're really leaning on for some leadership, and they really did a good job the other night too.
Well, the way the rules are with the draw, you know, you want maybe those 2 guys to lead the charge every time, the first 2 weights out. That's not the case. And so Mike Evans did a good job, but you asked about those 2, and we love how they compete. We like their leadership and what they can do out there as well. And Ramos is leading the team with falls right now. So we got McDonough and Evans and guys that are minded that way to go for the pin title. They're all in competition with each other.
Absolutely. We're looking at the Ramos highlights right now. He won in a 19-7 major. What did you like from him the other night?
We liked what he did coming out hard and getting takedowns and kind of breaking the match open. One thing at the end, his elbows got out away from him and he got kind of, caught with a kind of a pancake type thing. That's dangerous, and just keep doing what you're doing and still be aware that, you know, your opponent can be dangerous even if you have him seemingly broke. Sometimes they lay in the weeds a little bit. Sometimes they like to play possum, and we got to really put the clamps on it. I think up and down the lineup, what we got to do is, we're talking 10 weight classes, we got to work hard where the opponent is working hard to kind of keep it even or stymie us. And in the position that's probably overriding throughout our lineup on Saturday night was that bottom position when they were underneath us and they would base out, and that's when they would try their hardest, it seemed like.
Right.
And that's where you got to really work hard to ride and get them flat and then turn and pin. And I don't know if we worked hard enough to do that. And, I think if we just wrestle hard in all positions, we're going to be fine.
We're looking at the Mike Evans match right now. How important was it for him to really start the meet off?
He's a catalyst, and I don't know how good he felt out there. You know, we got a little bit of a bug going around our team right now, but he came out and he wrestled, scored, 10 points, got bonus points, and then right here, Telford, he needs to come up. There he gets, the guy puts a leg in, he slips it and ends up, winning that bout 3-2, but, you got to be able to come up there and under duress, so to speak, and we got to get him feeling better too. I think we're continuing to build on our shape, and there's a lot of direction that we have to improve. I mean, a lot of people look at the score and say maybe that we're smooth sailing, but there's better teams out there, not to throw gasoline on the fire, salt in the wound or anything, but we got to get ready for, right now it's Penn State, Oklahoma State, Minnesota, and then Ohio State bumped us to 5th. They won the Vegas tournament, so now we're number 5, and those teams in front of us, and there's 3 or 4 or 5 underneath us, Missouri and Illinois, and they're all out for blood when it comes to us. So we welcome the challenge, but we better not just say that. We better be able to back it up.
Now you head out east next week. Talk about some of those things that you'd like to see your team improve on before then.
Just what I said. I mean, we got to wrestle full matches. We have to wrestle with intensity full matches, get better today, in those positions. The thing is, you got to work hard. If you don't work hard, if you only work or wrestle where the guy's giving it to you, your scores are going to be close. If you take what a guy gives you and then you're where you want to be and then you put the clamp on him by working hard, then those scores will widen. And that's what we want to do. We want to widen that gap. Bonus points, bonus points, bonus points.
Absolutely. Coach, thanks for stopping by. Good luck out east in a week.
Thank you.
Now let's take a look at this week's Play of the Week.
Friday night at the Hawkeye Invitational, the finals of the 500 freestyle. Iowa sophomore Becky Stoughton at the top of the screen. Michigan's Adrienne Bisick next to her. Stoughton trails for most of the race, but in the last 20 yards, she surpasses the Wolverine to win the 500 free in 4:43.20. A meet record and the 12th fastest time nationally this season. Becky Stoughton in the pool with the Hawkeye Sports Report Play of the Week.
After months of anticipation, the fuel inside us rises. All of our training and devotion has prepared us for this. We stand as one team in black and gold. This is Iowa Wrestling. Secure your season tickets today. Call 1-800-IA-HAWKS or visit HawkeyeSports.com.
And last but not least, the swim team had a big weekend in the pool at the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center last weekend as they hosted 6 different teams in a 3-day competition. Both the men's and women's team finished third in the 7-team field. The women's team was led by freshman Olivia Kabasinski, who took home the 200 freestyle title in a time of 1:48.32, the second fastest time in school history. She also set the school record in the 50 free, posting a time of 22.88 seconds. And sophomore Becky Stoughton, last year's Big Ten Freshman of the Year, was also a bright spot on the weekend as she swam to a first-place finish in the 500 free, as well as a runner-up finish in the 1650 free. The team also posted a second-place finish in the 800 freestyle relay. On the men's side, they also finished third and were led by freshman Roman Trusoff, who finished third in both the 100 and 200 breaststroke, breaking the school record in both events. Sophomore Grant Betulius also broke a school record in the 100 backstroke with a time of 46.97 seconds. The women's team will be back in the pool in Iowa City on Friday when they host Iowa State at 6 p.m. Let's finally take a look at what's ahead in Hawkeye athletics over the next 7 days. 'Tis the season for interstate rivalries, in particular men's basketball, women's basketball, and as we mentioned, swimming will all take on Iowa State over the next few days. Women's basketball will be in action Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. That can be seen on the Big Ten Network. And both men's basketball and swimming will host the Cyclones on Friday night, with the swim meet beginning at 6 p.m. and the basketball game tipping off at 7:06 p.m. The basketball game can also be seen on the Big Ten Network. Wrestling will have just one meet this week. That comes on Thursday evening at 4 against Lehigh. With finals week being next week, all teams will have this weekend and next week off before returning to action on the 15th and 16th. That's all we have for this week's edition of Hawkeye Sports Report. Have a great weekend.